Going to begin in a open position to sort of create some space and stretch through the solar plexus. Um, Depending on your body, you may make this more of a heart opener as well. So, this is the first pose, and depending on what you've been doing today, you may or may not have done a lot of movement. So you might simply just take a bolster and lay it down, and you can put a pillow over it. So this would be the simpler version, the little more supported version with the bolster or the pillows upright, like, or in the rectangle position, because we're still going to open up through the solar plexus, but we're going to open up through the heart. Or if you have a little more mobility in your upper and mid back, you can do what we did last week and turn the bolster and the pillows. So now it's matching the wide edge of the mat. And then you might grab a block there. But if you sit down and then lay back over that, that really highlights the solar plexus. So we kind of introduced this movement last week, and putting a block under your head can make this a lot nicer for the cervical spine, but it still might be a deeper stretch. So you could try it. Maybe you tried it last week, and if it's not right for you, then just come back to that just sort of more simple supported pose. The knees can bend. So if you're laying back with the bolster wide, it might be better to keep the knees knocked, because that's going to support the back best, especially earlier in the practice. But again, if you're warmed up, or if you just have a lot of mobility in your mid back, you might be able to stretch your legs out long. That's going to be the deeper expression. And of course, you're always welcome to bring the soles of the feet together. If you do that, though, usually I recommend putting pillows underneath the thighs. So any sort of simple supported heart opener that works for you, but we do want to be able to bring our attention to the solar plexus. We are in the Manipura chakra right now, the third chakra, which is basically the belly button up into the opening of the ribs, right underneath the bottom ribs here, this sort of wide area that we often associate with the core, right? This is the rectus abdominis as well, these muscles up here. And you might even take your hands and just kind of, especially when you're in a position like this where we're stretching, and you can just kind of feel, right? You can feel the muscles there, or the skin there, the flesh here. You can trace right around the ribs. You feel where the ribs open up. So this is the solar plexus, tracing around the ribs. Then there's that opening there, and that comes down to the belly button, and then all the flesh and the muscle and the organ around here, and then the same thing on the back, right? So the mid back, that strong band of muscle in the back. So this is all the Manipura chakra. And just letting your attention and your breath move into this space. The color is a golden yellow, or the color of fire. This is the fire chakra. We started the year in the earth chakra, the root. We moved up in February into the sacral chakra, the sacrum, the water chakra, and now we are in the third chakra. And this is the fire chakra. This is the chakra of action and power. We talked about navigating through the emotion of shame, which is the shadow of it. Last week, we talked about the function of digestion. This week, we are talking about sort of the primal creative spark. And it's very fitting because tonight actually is the eve of the equinox. We are in the March equinox starting tomorrow. And equinox happens twice a year, once in March, once in September. And we have equal day and night before we shift into the next season. So for the Northern Hemisphere, we're moving into spring. For the Southern Hemisphere, they're moving into fall. But for everyone, the March equinox is marked by the sun moving into the cardinal fire sign. And the cardinal fire sign is basically like someone sparking a match, right? So it's like there's a dark room and someone strikes a match. And if you've done that before, I'm assuming everybody here has struck a match. I mean, maybe you've done it in the dark or at night, right? Like there's that great like sound and smell, and then there's the flame and it lights up. And again, if you've worked with matches, you know that they don't stay lit that long, right? The goal of striking a match is that you would then light something else with it, right? So you're either lighting, something, or you're lighting a candle, or you're lighting a fire. the match doesn't really have that much longevity. And so in the same way, cardinal fire is like the beginning of the flame. It's the spark of inspiration, the spark of creativity. And in the northern hemisphere, when we enter the spring equinox, it's like all of a sudden, almost overnight, right? Like trees that seemed dead suddenly have flowers blooming, and areas that had dirt suddenly have grass shooting up, right? So it's that life force, that spark that reaches for the sun. And it's very powerful. And the third chakra, encompasses the fire element. And so there's a lot to the fire element, right? It's the match, but it's also the bonfire. But this week, aligning with the equinox, we sort of tune into that quality of spark, that quality of striking the match and lighting up the darkness. This is inspiration. This is energy. This is instinct. This is the primal sort of life force, what we call Shakti prana, activating. And it can't be forced. It really is this curation, right, of the earth and the water, right? So if you've ever planted a seed, it needs the right balance of these elements, enough earth, enough water, and then enough sun for the seed. And if you've ever watched a seed, right, like at some point it basically bursts out of its shell, and then it starts to root, and then it shoots up. And so for the next just couple of breaths, as your attention is on the solar plexus, the Manipura chakra, maybe consider that spark for you. As we move into this equinox, as we move into this third week of the third chakra, we invoke that spark, the beginning of fire, when we have sort of created space to feel and process shame and begin to access that healthy digestion, digesting all that undigested experience. Now we can start to get that initial spark. And sometimes it's just being open to it. It's showing up, being open to that spark, that light, that something inside of you that suddenly is inspired, is creative, is energized. And maybe it doesn't last long. Maybe it literally is just that moment. But can we start to hold space for that? Can we start to invoke that? Take a deep, deep breath into your belly. Let it expand and rise. And then open your mouth. Exhale. Draw the belly button towards the spine. Slight contraction. Again, take a big, big breath. Let it expand. Let it fill. Open mouth. Exhale. Draw the belly in. Draw the belly in. Exhale it out completely. One more time. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the belly, fill the belly. Exhale, draw the belly in, out through the mouth. Let everything go completely. Go ahead and bend your knees if they're in any other position. Very, very carefully, go ahead and start to roll off your props, or rolling into a fetal pose, especially if you were in that little bit of a deeper belly opener. Right, yourself pause in fetal pose for a moment, and curling towards the earth, right? That seed that curls in towards the earth, and then at that right moment, right, the life force moves out, rooting down, sprouting up. When you're ready, go ahead and bring yourself up to a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you tonight. Sit bones are grounded, spine is lifted. Placing your hands just hand over hand above the belly button, or we've worked with the diamond, one of the Padma mudras, and placing the diamond where you have your thumb and index finger touch, and you spread them out, and you place that right in that spot between the ribs and the belly button, or just rest your hands there. Then again, breathe here. Breathe into the shining jewel, the Manipura chakra, third chakra, fire chakra, the spark of inspiration, instinct, impulse, energy. And maybe at some point in your life, you felt that spark, you felt that light. And when we feel into old emotions in yoga, it's not intended to create a story or create any feeling of, concern about it. It's if we remember what something felt like, we can feel it again. So maybe you do have a felt sense of like a moment that you had that spark of genius, right? That spark of creativity, of inspiration. Maybe you were in the dark, you were having a problem, you were having an issue, or you were working with someone else, and suddenly, right, that creative light. Can you just feel into that? Just invoke that. In times of darkness, right? That striking of the match, the sound, the smell, the light. And then we only have a moment to decide what to do with it. And sometimes all we need is a moment. We'll tone the seed sound for this chakra, which is Ram, R-A-M, 3 times as you're ready. Exhale out the mouth. Release your hands to your knees and just start to move through a little cat-cow. And as you do that, just feel into the belly, right? So cat-cow is a full spinal movement. It is great for the entire chakra system, the entire spine. See if you can just emphasize, right, the belly as it draws in and out. Even just put your attention on your belly button as you open and round, especially in that contraction, right? The belly moves out on the inhale and then in on the exhale. Just that little sort of churning through the spine, right? Fire is a moving element, right? Earth can get pretty heavy, pretty still. Even water can appear pretty still, right? Fire generally not still, right? Fire is a dancer. Fire moves around. That doesn't mean that we can't tune into it from places of stillness or meditation, but there is that dance to the flame. And this time, as you round back, hold that position in cat and think about drawing the belly button back. So let that be the focus here, drawing the belly back, drawing the belly button back, feeling into that area. So we sort of mapped the front of the solar plexus when we were laying down. Here we can map the back. So can you sense from the ribs basically down to where we start at the sacrum, right? Where we started to the pelvis, right? When we feel the low back. So feeling that mid back area. This is the thoracic spine. And then bring it on up. Exhale, stick out your tongue. Switch the cross of the legs, or just make sure you're still sitting in a comfortable seat up on the sit bones. We're going to move through a slow seated side bend. So again, all about the solar plexus. If it's comfortable to reach the arms up on the inhale, and then exhale to one side. So really using the full breath. Big, big inhale as you lift up. You can also open the arms out. Long exhale as you stretch to the other side. Take your time. And again, really feeling that movement through the side body. So the obliques, the muscles in between the ribs. Side body connects everything. And in Chinese medicine, the heart is actually part of the fire, is the fire element. And the fire line moves along the side body in yin in Chinese medicine. So even in Chinese medicine, when we go through these side bends, we're in the fire lines, the fire meridians. Take your time, there's no rush. Let your attention move through the belly, through the side body. Few more. Nice and slow. Just again, that flame dancing. And then we're gonna hold. So whatever side you come to. Now, you don't have to come in very deep here, and you can always put a bolster or pillow underneath your bottom hand. So whatever side you're on. The top arm up and over the head is a lot, so you can hook it behind the back. And then you can even turn your head down. So you can make this a very soft position, supporting under the arm, turning the head down, placing the top arm behind your back. So feel free to make any of those adjustments, or if the forearm comes to the floor and then the top arm is overhead, right, then we get a lot deeper into this position. Rounding through the hips, lengthening the spine, softening the jaw, really opening through the side body. Breathing into your belly. Deep inhale and exhale. Now the side you're on, as you inhale, lengthen yourself up and then just take that bottom hand behind you and then take your top hand to the opposite knee for a simple seated twist. And that top hand that's now twisting, it can just rest on the knee, or it can actually rest on the shin for a softer twist, or it can be placed on the thigh for a deeper twist. And the more you walk the back hand behind you, the more we'll get into that deeper twist. Draw the belly in to support the twist. This is a twist for the upper spine, but generally when we twist, this is a third chakra movement. We also talk about twists in the fifth chakra as well. So you can play with turning your head one way or the other, just noticing how that changes things for the cervical spine. Keep breathing, lifting. Inhale to lift, exhale to twist. Inhale through the nose, stay in the twist, exhale, stick out the tongue. Inhale to unwind, exhale. Inhale, reach the arms up into that big stretch. Exhale, second side of your side bend, so the side you didn't do before. Now, each side is different, so maybe this side feels a little tighter and you want to bring some support under the bottom arm, or take that top hand behind you, or maybe this side feels a little more open and you want to bring the forearm down, or really stretch that top arm up and over. Head can look up or down, just be mindful with the cervical spine. Keep the breath steady. Deep breath in. Big breath out. Slowly start to walk it up. And then again, we're going to come into that seated twist. So the bottom arm is going to walk behind you. That top arm is going to cross to the opposite knee, or it can stay at the shin. Lift and lengthen into the twist. Soften the jaw. You can turn your head a little bit side to side. Focus on the belly. Draw the belly in towards the spine. Breathe. Deep breath in. Open mouth as you stick out the tongue. Slowly unwind. Inhale, reach the arms up, big stretch. Exhale, draw the hands down. Take the hands to the shins, round into that cat position. Draw the belly in, stretch back. And now you can stay just like this in cat, or keep the spine in cat, but bend your knees. And your hands can stay at your knees or come behind your thighs, and just round a little bit more here. And if you want to access the core a little bit, you can reach your arms up and feel the core. Just a little gentle core here. Tucking, rounding, but just maybe releasing the arms, knees bent, pull the belly in. And then draw it up. Give yourself a little hug here at the top. Shake out the head a little bit, and you can stretch out the legs, shake out the legs. And then we are going to move up to standing for just a couple of minutes. I'm going to turn the light on here because has been nice the last couple nights starting class and having the natural light, but we're not quite into the spring yet. So just turn on your mat so that you can stand comfortably, feet about shoulder distance apart, toes facing forward. So shoulders over hips, hips over heels. This is mountain. And again, you can rest your hands at your solar plexus. You might want to have a block or two in front of you, or be near your table or chair or bed. And again, you can rest your hands at the solar plexus, or you can make that little diamond. And again, just close your eyes, feel into that memory or idea of a spark. And maybe it's just the visualization of darkness and then that strike of the match. Imagining that in the belly as we move into this equinox energy. And then slowly inhale, sweep your arms up as much as you can. As you come up, feel the lift in the belly. So really feel the belly button. This is Urdhva Hastasana, reaching up. So this comes from the core, right? We're grounding through the feet. We're lifting through the arms, but the core is propelling that motion. Feel the belly in. Take another breath. And now as you exhale, use your belly as you swan dive forward. So again, this is the belly and the back as you swan dive forward. Soften the knees and then come into that forward fold. So this is a nice place to let your hands rest on blocks, or you can be on, your hands can be on a chair, or you can rest on a chair. And just breathe here. Just allow that Uttanasana, ragdoll position. Draw your belly in. Notice how drawing the belly in helps you to fold a little closer to the legs. Soften the jaw, the face. Just feel that release. So again, this is our midsection, right? This is our core. So we need that belly drawing in so we can bring the upper body closer to the lower body. Any movement that feels good here, or just be still, but just continue to draw the belly in. And then inhale, lengthen up halfway. Your hands can come to your shins, your thighs. They can also come onto your prop and just lengthen here. So this is all that solar plexus. The belly draws in, the back muscles fire up, lengthening through the spine. Again, we're not trying to do a ton of work here, but we're feeling that activation, right? We're activating that spark. Draw the belly in, lengthen up, and then exhale, let go. Draw the belly in towards the spine. Let go a little bit more here. Feel that release. And then again, inhale, lengthen up halfway. Lift here. Focus on the belly drawing in, lengthening through the spine, the spark, the core. Take another breath. Exhale, fold in. Belly draws in. Let go, let go, let go. Last time, inhale up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Draw the belly in, breathe into the back of the body, feel the core, the solar plexus, that activation, and then exhale, release. Take a couple breaths, any movement that feels good. Decompressing the spine, little inversion, stretching the calves, the hamstrings. Soften your knees. And again, think about that reverse swan dive. Draw your belly and knees are soft. As you start to come up, let that come from your core. Again, back into that Urdhva Hastasana, a little pause here. Stretch your belly. So feel the belly stretch as we reach for the sun, reach for the light. And then exhale, hands draw down, rest them back at your solar plexus. Pause here. Little rock, little shift. I'm just going to turn a little bit so you have a better view of me. You can stay in the same position. Inhale, reach the arms up again. This time your right hand is going to hold your left wrist and we're going to stretch up and over to the right. So if you remember our first week doing solar plexus, we did this on the floor. Press down through your feet, lengthen up. And then if you want a little more, you're going to step the left foot behind the right and squeeze the legs. So remember stacking the ankles on the floor. Roll the shoulders down, lengthen through the spine. Now, if this is too much, you can always release the bottom arm and the top arm is overhead. You can also place the hand behind the head. So there's always variations to make this a little less fiery, right? But this is a big side bend. Squeezing the legs, you might have that little balance going if the back leg is behind. Soften the jaw, soften the face. And then inhale, step yourself back up, lift up. Exhale, draw the hands down to your solar plexus. Pause for a moment. You can even release your arms and just give them a little shake here. Just shake the body out a little bit. And then we'll do that other side. Inhale, reach up. Left hand to the right wrist, pull up and over, roll the shoulders down and back. Maybe that right leg steps behind the left, up onto the toes, squeeze the legs, draw the belly in, soften the face. Adjust in any way you need to. Keep breathing into the belly. And then inhale, stretch back, reach up, lift up, stretch from the core. One more time. Can you swan dive forward into that forward fold? Inhale up, halfway lift, use your core. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach it up, draw the belly in, stretch, reach, lift. Exhale, draw down, hands to solar plexus. Soften the knees, rock the hips. Or if it feels good, release the arms and do some windmills here. Do some standing twists. Just stretching it out, or any movement that feels good for you here. That twisting again, coming from the waist. We're going to do a little more sound work. We're going to work with the vowel sound. So the third chakra vowel sound is O. So you're going to take a big breath in and just let out a big old O. Oh. And again. Oh. One more. Oh. And gently bring it back to center. You can shake out your arms and legs a little bit. And just pause. Just let your head gently shake side to side, or you can draw your chin across your chest and do a couple little half moon. Just sometimes when we do the side bends and things like that, the neck can get a little tight. So just releasing any tension here. And slowly bringing it back to center. And then making your way down onto your bottom again. Sitting down on your bottom, stretch your legs out. Lift up on your sit bones, put a little bend in your knees. Actually, put quite a big bend in your knees. Because what I want you to think about is as you bend your knees, think about drawing your belly towards your thighs. So you can take your hands to your feet and bring your thighs up to your belly. So we want the belly to touch the thighs. So bend the knees as much as you need to make that connection. And then lengthen the spine. And then exhale, start to fold. And you can even just take your hands and clasp opposite elbows under the knees, and then just let your head go here. Let your head kind of hang. You can also put a block or two between your knees and let your head rest on that. This is a caterpillar. Fitting for the energy we're coming in, right? Because the caterpillar in the cocoon transforms into the butterfly. If you can keep your belly on your thighs, you can start to stretch your legs out longer. But totally fine to keep that support between the legs and rest your head on it. But think about moving the belly towards the thighs. So stretching that mid back, right? We're stretching the back body, but we're getting into the legs a little bit. All that potential of the third chakra. trying to breathe into the belly, and let the belly rest towards your thighs. And take another big breath in. Exhale out the mouth. Slowly round yourself up. Get a little rock. And then you can bring the soles of the feet together, or if that's not comfortable, then, any comfortable seat that works for you. You can come back into Sukhasana. We're going to do a little bit of breath of fire. We did that the first week. Now, breath of fire, if for whatever reason it's not comfortable for you or you don't like it, I just want you to focus on a deep belly breath, right? So just like we did on our backs, inhale, let the belly expand, exhale, contract and draw the belly in. So you can just stay with that. Otherwise, breath of fire is sort of a pulse in the solar plexus. So the exhale is a snap back and the inhale is an automatic inflation. So it looks like this. And the exhale out the nose is like you were trying to blow a candle out with your nostrils. You can do it with an open mouth, which is almost like you're trying to fog a mirror with your mouth. So you can do the mouth open or the mouth closed. You can also just focus on the belly breath, but close your eyes. Don't worry about going fast. Even try to slow it down. We're just activating that spark. So when you're ready. And release. Just breathe natural. You can rock a little bit or just feel into the body. Notice any changes. And then we'll do another round of either just belly breath or either version of breath of fire, mouth open or closed. In and out. And release. Take some breaths, wiggle around. Soften the jaw. And again, sometimes breath of fire can make us feel a little lightheaded or a little activated, a little more activated than we want. So if that's the case, just stay with the belly breath and we'll do one final round here. Release. Wiggle it out, shake it out. Rub your palms for a moment, get them nice and warm, and then place them over the closed eyes. The sight is the sense of the third chakra, just relaxing the eyes. And then slide the hands down and let's shift into Viparita Karani. So legs up the wall, legs up the bed, legs up the chair, legs up whatever you would like to take them up. So a lot of poses in that sequence, a lot of energy in that sequence. So going into an inversion, as we talked about last week, is really great to balance the Agni. So we talked about the Agni Pranamala. So got all that spark stirred up, and now the inversion will kind of help to calm it, sustain it. And if you got a little too much energy going. But if you know, again, if you're feeling that spark, if you're feeling the energy, take a couple minutes and journal. Sit down and write out. If you had a creative thought or an idea or an impulse, write it out. Honor it. If you're like, I'm not ready to put my legs up the wall right now, right? Like take a couple minutes. But sometimes, when we're working with that aspect of the fire, the spark, right, that initial impulse, it can then be like, whoa. So sometimes the inversion is just very clarifying for it. So maybe after this, you might want to sit in meditation or journal or, go do something creative, right? Go paint, go cook, go draw. So whatever it is for you, what are the things that you are creative about? What sparks that impulse and instinct for you? We all have different passions. This is the chakra of passion, of purpose, of power. And we'll get more into that these next couple of weeks. But tonight is just about that strike. What's that thing that gets you going sometimes, that makes you want to light up that dark room. But for now, just let yourself rest here. You can take a couple minutes to rest your hands on the belly. You might even just gently massage around the belly. Sometimes, this is a part of the body that we struggle with because of cultural sort of ideas or ideas about ourselves, right? But this is the power chakra. And that power is inside, that spark is inside. And so just letting yourself connect to that and see that. And if you have that embodiment, that felt sense of a time that you do remember just getting that spark of genius, that spark of creativity, bring just back the feeling of it. It doesn't have to be connected to the story. We want the feeling. And that's what we want to record in the nervous system. And maybe even there's a little sankalpa here, a seed for this equinox Manipura practice, right? I am creative. I am open to inspiration, or I am inspired. I welcome the spark. I welcome my creative instinct. Or something like that, right? That resonates with you. Imagine that seed, that spark being planted in this solar plexus that we have activated, invoked in our practice tonight. Let your eyes close, when the eyes drop back. Relax your face, your head, your neck, and your throat. Let your spine settle, feeling all the way down the vertebra from the neck to the tailbone. And then relax the back, the upper back, shoulder blades, that mid back, all those strong muscles we tuned into. Relax the low back. Wrap back around, feel the shoulders and the chest and the arms and the hands, and then the front of the solar plexus where we mapped earlier. Bottom ribs and the flesh, the muscles, down into the low belly and the pelvis. Feel the belly and the pelvis relax. Your thighs get heavy and your legs relax, the knees and the calves and the shins, your feet, ankles, toes, soles of the feet. Let your legs relax from the toes to the hips, front and back. Let your arms and your hands relax from the fingertips to the shoulders, front and back. And feel the back body settling down. Really feel that mid back, that thoracic spine soften. The torso and the solar plexus, that soft, strong flesh, face and the neck, the whole body resting back, resting more deeply into the Manipura chakra, into the solar plexus. Seeing that light in the dark, the spark in the dark. What is waking up? What is stirring? What is ready to reach for the light? Om Manipura Namaha. We bow to, we invoke the shining jewel. Om Manipura Namaha. Om Manipura Namaha. Feel into the belly. And the solar plexus. The breath rising and falling here in the belly. That spark of light, of life, force, of creativity, of inspiration. We talked about in the sacral chakra that is the chakra of sort of where creation is born, right? And then it moves up, and this is where we start to activate it. We start to manifest it. And so as we build through the chakras, they support each other in the same way that when you plant a seed, it needs, right, balanced amounts of earth and water and fire and air, which we'll get into next month, to be strong, to be healthy, to be sustainable, to be its highest version of itself. In that same way, when we are in these earth elements in the lower chakras, the first through the fourth chakra, we want this healthy balance here. And here in the fire chakra, this is the work we've done in the first chakra, the second chakra, and now there's this spark. Now we're beginning to cultivate the power needed, right? In the same way that seed shoots down to get roots, and then it's ready to sprout up and reach for the light. And then the shoot comes up, and then the blossoms, and then the fruit, right? So we're activating, we're connecting to that force, that power of life, of resilience, of passion and courage and confidence. And to honor yourself for being here, this equinox, Manipura practice, awakening the cardinal fire spark. And take a big, big, big belly breath in. And then open mouth, let it go, let your belly soften back. Bring in any movement that feels good, or just start to hug your knees in. Again, can you let your belly and your thighs connect? That gentle massage for the digestion. And take your time here. When you're ready, you can roll over to one side. And then bring yourself up. Hands to solar plexus. Gratitude for this inner spark. And we'll tone that seed sound of Ram one more time. Deep breath in. No, Manipura, Namaha, many blessings. Thank you for practicing tonight. Have a great week. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.